Alright, welcome back to LEGO Harry Potter Here's Part 4 with myself, 99. Last time I was here, I had been cut off mostly because I had to stop the recording and I just wasn't thinking about it. But I did mention the number 142. And that number is somewhat significant in this situation. So, story time. If you follow my dad, who is also on, give me that, who is also here on YouTube, known as the Jolly Cruise Blogger. This came about a couple of years ago when this thing started with my dad. We as a family had taken a family vacation one year on a cruise. And due to circumstances beyond our control, we were stuck in port for a couple of days and just waiting for that to occur. Excuse me, let me free this guy real quick. There we go. So, after stuck in port for a few days, we go on the cruise. And as it was a graduation gift for me, my dad's like, my parents are like, look, we're just gonna go, since they gave us some money back on it, we're just gonna book another one in a year from now, and kind of use that as another form of graduation gift for you, which was nice, and I appreciated that. Of course, it's always a good thing whenever, it's like, hey, this happened, it sucks, so we're gonna do what we can to make it up to you. So we did that. After that year, we were supposed to go on one in 2020 when my brother graduated high school. If you know anything about the summer of 2020, you don't even have to know about the summer. The spring of 2020, the world decided to shut down with a wonderful thing, air quotes, known as COVID-19. Because of that, as a lot of people watching this video will know, a lot of things were shut down in cruising, including the cruise industry, which we kept getting rebooked and pushed to a later date. Finally, we are able to sail once again. This time, we're on the Carnival Magic. My dad decided to not really start a Facebook group, but he joins a Facebook group and he's got videos on why you should do that on his channel, which I will link his channel in the description for this video, as I mentioned it. But we were on the first sailing of the Carnival Magic after a lot of the COVID restrictions had been lifted, and one of the first activities on the ship that a lot of Carnival ships have is Harry Potter trivia. And because of this, I always like to do it because I like trivia, I like useless facts, so I always try my hand at it, and plus it's a franchise I really like a lot and know a lot about. And he did differently than most other cruise directors and Fun Squad members did. So typically, Carnival trivia is run by one of the Fun Squad, which is just people who are in charge of making sure everyone's having a good time. They basically assist the cruise director. And so while we were doing Harry Potter trivia, I'm expecting that to be him, to be one of the Fun Squad members. It's not. It is the cruise director, and he is decked out. He is in a robe, he is in a Harry Potter mask that they were selling at Universal. He's completely decked out. Looks great. So, after which, and he did it differently because he set it up on basically a PowerPoint presentation, and you had 25 questions as opposed to a standard 20, and first couple of questions, they were easy. It's like, oh, who is this character? Some of them were very common, some of them were pretty obscure. And then others were like, okay, what what is a spell that can generate water from the wand? What is this? And you just got progressively more harder questions. So fast forward to the end, we have 3 final questions, which is, who did Harry take to the Yule Ball? And the final regular round question was, who is the oldest between Harry, Ron, and Hermione? Yeah. 2 wild guesses, and it was Parvati Patil and I believe Hermione's the oldest in it, because in a way, if you read the books and pay attention, they mention that Harry's the youngest. So that was just my big ol' guess. Both of those ended up being right, and I had 25 out of 25. The cruise director, knowing how a lot of these end, decided to give us the tiebreaker early. He basically was like, hey, so due to the fact a lot of our trivia tend to end in tiebreakers, I'm going to give you the tiebreaker question now. And this way, we can keep going. Y'all can keep going about your vacation. Just on the grounds that if it does do it, great. If not, then we won't need it and we'll figure it out from there. So he gives us the tiebreaker question, which is how many staircases are in Hogwarts? I did not consciously know the number off the top of my head. I sat there and I said, how many are there? And obviously you can't count them in the movie because you don't see all of them. And obviously there's no visual map of Hogwarts, unlike in other movies. Boy, do a Kratos sound effect there for some reason. I don't know. Have fun with that one. Nah. Anyway, so you can't count all of them in the book because there's no diorama that tells you where a staircase would be or anything. So it's like, I had no idea. And I'm like, I know. Like, I have a feeling based on the fact it's an older castle, there would be more than 100, but I didn't think more than 200. Didn't know, and I was like, I didn't want to put, like a random number. Well, like, obviously I put a random number. I guess I didn't want to put like a 45 or a 0, just kind of one of those things. I didn't know how it was going to work. If you were going to be the closest without going over, or the closest with going over. Yeah, I just didn't know how it was going to be. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put down 142. Little close to my guess of... Far away from my guess of 150. Close enough to 145 that I should be able to get it. They go through everything, and I'm also thinking, is like, man, I might not even get all these questions right. And if I don't get them all right, then I won't be involved in the tiebreaker. There's no big deal. We go through the questions and the answers, and I tally up my points, yada yada. 25 out of 25 points. You get to the tiebreaker, and they're like, alright, everyone stand up if you go like, oh, stand up if you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 22, 24, 25, and they drop like flies, and we're down to myself and like 3 other people. Like, okay, how many staircases are in Hogwarts? How many did you put in? One person said 100, and one person put like 105. One said 200. I think another said 155. And then here's me. I'm like 142. That's what I put down. I'm like, I have no idea. That's my guess, is 142. So he goes through everything, and he goes, and the number of staircases is... And I think if this man could drop the mic and not have to pay for it, he'd have dropped the mic then and there. Because it was 142 exactly. And the whole auditorium, because we were in the auditorium at the time, was just like, what the heck? Like, there's no way this kid got the exact number. It impressed everybody there, which is kind of like, yeah, that's my cool little moment of, So, we do that, and he invites myself up there, and the person who guessed 150. We had to compete in a wizard's duel, which is you just say Harry Potter spells back and forth until someone repeats the spell or stumbles on that, so I won the Harry Potter trivia. It was great. I loved it. It was funny. 10 minutes later, I ran into somebody as I'm walking around, and someone was like, dude, how did you know the exact number of staircases? I said, here's the best part. That was a wild guess that I'm pretty sure was locked somewhere in my subconscious, and I had no clue that was it. That is the best part about it. And he's like, hey, way to pull it off. Now fast forward to the next day, my dad was talking to me and telling me that, hey, so you know you won the Harry Potter trivia, right? He's like, oh yeah. My dad had spoke to the cruise director earlier in the day before and said, hey, I'm in this Facebook group. It's got about 150 people. Somebody in my group is winning everything that your stuff has to offer. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure, ha ha ha, funny, funny. My dad then went up to him and said, oh, hey, you know the kid that won Harry Potter trivia? And his name was Gary. He's like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was like, yeah, that was my son. And he's like, no way. He's like, yep, that was my son who won Harry Potter trivia. He's like, yeah, your son got everything right, including the tiebreaker. He got the exact number. No one ever does that. So, truly, that was one of the fun parts. Anywho, there's now a troll that was in the dungeon. We are now on our way in the girls' bathroom to save Hermione because the video game had the video game, and because they can't talk, they cannot show the disliking that Ron had towards Hermione in the beginning, so they're like, let's just give her an excuse to walk out, because, yeah, also at the same point, if you're playing this game, you've already seen the movie and or read the book, so you already know what's occurred. Excuse me. You already know that, they weren't necessarily friends in this event with the troll and the bathroom is kind of what brought them together in the story. So I guess in a way it's like, yeah, they already know what's gonna occur, so we're just gonna create a more comical way to bring the troll into the dungeon with Malfoy starting a food fight in the Great Hall and getting chocolate all over Hermione's face. Anyway, I'm sure some of you see the numbers. Yeah, usually if you ever see something with numbers in a Lego game, that means there's multiple of them in the level or the area, and there's usually a reward for doing so, such as getting those 3 fish gave me 1/4 of the house crest. If you're going for 100%, you need to get all of the house crest. Other things you have to get are Students in Peril, various, which I've gotten a couple of them through playing this and telling this story. And yep, there's the lights. This level has them as well, so you've got lights to hit, and you have flower pots to hit. Over there's a book puzzle that I can't do yet because I need a character who has a ruined book. I have a character who has a ruined book available to play. I just can't use them right now because they're currently crying in the bathroom. If you know, you know. If you don't know, well, it'll come in time. No need to worry about it. And let's play some golf. Why not? Here you go, mermaid statue. 4. Perfect. Hole in 1. Alright. Thor has now made his way to the bathroom. And he is going to charm his way in. Yep. Can't see what happened there. Alright, let's give this wizard in the picture some light. So, interesting thing, any picture in the video game, if you haven't played this before, you see with an orange border. That is a picture that you can interact with. And each time it's going to do something different. This is kind of that part where they're telling you, hey, you have to interact with some of these pictures to progress in the story or for puzzles. Also, if you happen to play this with siblings, you can also do this alone, but it's more fun with siblings. When you have access to Wingardium Leviosa, get the swords, and you can have a little sword fight. Plus, it gives you more money. Everybody likes money. Alright. Silver, can't destroy that yet. Alright. So, when you interact with this particular one, they give you a girl disguise, which is they basically gave you a high ponytail. You have a time limit to go interact with the ghost above the bathroom. And hooray, we're now in. No longer have the disguise on. So now I can just walk right in with no problem. There we go. She is cleaning off her face. And I guess the troll took care of troll stuff. Are we sure this troll's an idiot? My man just... At least he had the respect to wash his hands. He used the wrong bathroom. Well, maybe, I don't know. It's a troll. Not say we did figure it out. But, based on that, that's a dude. Based on the mess that it looked like Hermione saw in there, that's a dude. That ain't no female troll. Alright, let's get number 5. Number 6. And the 7th one is here somewhere. But, I'm gonna try and get the troll to... Ah! That was not the goal. That's the goal. Oh, there's number 7. Yeah, gimme 3/4 of the house dress. Well, let's sweep it up while we're waiting for him. This is kind of one of those things, since it is sort of like a boss fight, there's not much I can do right now until the moment occurs. Oh, and... So now I'm just trying to get some money, which I think it's about to occur, but let's go tag the student in peril. Yeah, that's literally what you have to do for that one, is just walk up and tag them. And you're good. You have it? Oh, come on, dude. Seriously? Alright. Back it up. Oh, hey! Right, forgot you can interact with those again. Oh, I don't know what happened with that. Alright. You! I know you're... That's what... Okay. That's the second phase, right? I think. Is it... Oh, no, right, because you don't learn about another way you could... Oh, yeah, it is the second phase. So, yeah. First phase, you just drag it up there. Second phase, you, gotta catch it and throw it back to him. The third phase, you just drop the club on his head. And we're gonna do this just like they did in the movie. With Ronald Weasley. Oh, I missed. Got him. Hehe. Fool. And kablunk. Hooray! He's out cold. Probably also got a concussion, too. Oh, what are you fools doing? In fact, I didn't get yelled at lose points for being in the girls' bathroom. Realistically. I would feel that's a better excuse for the, losing points in the book and the movie. But at the same time, put themselves in a dangerous situation and managed to walk away without a scratch. And had 50 points to show for it because McGonagall took 50 points from Gryffindor from Hermione's actions, but then gifted Gryffindor 100 points for Harry and Ron. Yeah. Yeah, Hermione should have mentioned that in the book when it happened. 39% of a true wizard. Gosh darn it. I need more spells. Which we will be getting more spells eventually. Because now we only have access to Wingardium Leviosa, which allows us to levitate and build stuff. We will eventually learn more spells, like the next one being Lumos. But that'll be in the next episode. I almost guarantee that. For now, we are going to move on with our lives.